The flickering light of Asia, or the Assyrian nation and church. Mosul to most Americans means only oil and a wrangling point of European and Turkish diplomacy, yet there is little remnant of what was once one of the earth's most famous races, which has dwelt in Mosul and the regions roundabout for upwards of several thousand years. To these people, the disposal of Mosul means life renewed in hope or utter extinction. It has seemed to me a duty which I could not rightly refuse to consent to introduce this book, simply because the vivid story that it tells and the vistas of history it reveals are what Americans need to know now, and all this has been written nowhere else. This book portrays the wonderful fight of a brave ally of ours in the World War, of which most of us have never before heard, whose sufferings and ruin have far exceeded that of Belgium or Serbia, and whose fate still hangs in the balance. These are the Assyrians. Across the Euphrates from Mosul lie the ruins of Nineveh, that great city, where once ruled the ancestors of his pathetic modern remnant. What has happened in these thousands of years intervening is sketched in these pages. For many centuries, a mighty Christian church loomed large on the page of ecclesiastical history. This church was the church of the dwellers in Mesopotamia, of the famous University of Edessa, of the missionaries to the farthest corners of India and China. The remnant of the Assyrians are also remnant of this church. This book collates the history of the church. Thin wedged, the rightful domains of the Christian Assyrians extended north of Mosul between Mohammedan, Kurdistan, and Persia. Here before the war, the patriarch prince, church, and state united ruled his Christian people in all simplicity, respected alike by Mohammedan and Christian. Today, part of the race has been massacred, part driven into Russia, a few into America, and a few after the exile are sifting back to their ruined homeland. Striking war story told in true Oriental style. What gives special value to this book is that the author himself, an Assyrian, has drawn from the literature of his own people on the history of his nation and church, and put together the facts in a complete form as no one else has attempted. Of this precious remnant is in the hands of the nations of the West. It would seem that common justice demanded their restoration, all that is needed to give them an opportunity to make a new start, security and freedom to live their own life in their own lands and help to rebuild homes, churches, schools. Also, they need a few Western leaders of the right sort to guide them on their way, but it should be their own way. To allow this nation to be wiped off the page of history ought to be unthinkable.